Hello everyone. What you're looking at right now is the Zia template, which is set up in a way of its latitudes and longitudes. And I'm not going to move it right now just for temporarily so you could get an idea of what the layout looks like first before I start describing anything. But what I'm going to describe first is the longitude. And where is the longitude? The longitude is located right where this red arrow is. And what is it? It's the 106th longitude. And if you go on a globe or an atlas or Google map or whatever you want to go, and you look down on 106 degrees longitude, you'll find out that it goes to a place called Pyramid Peak. Where's Pyramid Peak located? In Colorado. Northern Colorado, to be more precise, up there near the Gunnison area, in that area. But anyway, this is Colorado, this is Pyramid Peak, and Pyramid Peak is the beginning of the marker for the 106th longitude, which goes down to here to this 39 north. And what is that 39 north? 39 north means it's the latitude. And what do I mean by latitude? When you go straight down the middle, it's the 39th going all the way down. Well, I mean the latitude is going this way. I mean, what am I saying? The latitude is going this way. Longitude is going down. That's 106. But anyway, this is the 39th latitude if you go straight down from Pyramid Peak. And why am I saying that? Well, if you go to the sides of 39, there's a 38 here. There's a 38 there, but this is 38 east. This is 38 west. So in other words, 38th degree latitude east, 37th degree latitude east, 36th degrees latitude east, and in the middle, 35th degrees latitude east. And on this side, you got 38th west latitude, 37th west latitude, 36th west latitude, and then in the middle, 35th west latitude. I can go all the way down. It'll take you down to 13 to the south. But, it'll take us a little while to do that. But the reason I'm showing that, because the longitude is from Pyramid Peak down to the Sandia Mountains, which is right outside my window, outside north of town here in Albuquerque. And then one from the Sandias, or in other words, the Petroglyph National Monument. You go down from the Petroglyphs National Monument here in Albuquerque, and then you go to Hidden Mountain. And what is that Hidden Mountain? It's outside Los Lunas. And what does it have? It has petroglyphs. And what are the petroglyphs located at? They're located at the 106th degree longitude. You go down south, where does it take you to? It takes you to Socorro. And in Socorro, outside an old Spanish mission, on the side of a mountain or a mesa there are petroglyphs there at Socorro. And what are those petroglyphs located at? The 106 degrees longitude again. And then you go down from Socorro, and then you go to a place that's called the Three Rivers Petroglyphs, which is by Tularosa, in that area where Mescalero is, and White Sands area. You go down to that area where the Three Rivers Petroglyphs are located. And what is that petroglyph located at? It's located at the 106 degrees longitude. Why am I saying that? You go one longitude to the left after that. I think it's, if I remember, 105th degrees longitude. And where does that take you from below the Hidden Mountain? Pacayme, Chihuahua, Mexico. Okay, now that I showed you the layout here, you can understand how this works with latitudes and the longitude. And the longitude is the 106 degrees, and the latitudes are going across this way from 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Why am I showing you all of this? Because it's important to know, because north is here and south is there, but when you look at it flat in front of you on a desk or a table, east and west aren't going to match. Because when you do it like this, it's reversed. West is that way, but it says east. West is, so But why? I'll show you. If you follow me real closely, I'm going to stand up real slowly into this light so that hopefully I'll have just enough that the camera will be able to get some of the shaky imagery I have here. You put the image above your head, printed side down. You point the north to the north, which is that way I'm looking, and you point the other one that's behind me to the south, and then now it lays out east and west to where it's supposed to be. And the Sandia Mountains are in the middle. And then you go wonder, what does all this have to do with this? Well, it's also an indigenous compass, because if you know where the North Star is, and let's say you step on your compass and you break it or destroy it, or it falls off a cliff or into a river, or your GPS gets destroyed, or something happens to your GPS that it doesn't work no more, or your computer is down, or you have no signal, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, you could laminate this thing and take it out there and point it toward the North Star, and then when you point it to the north, you just point the other direction to the south. It'll tell you all the directions where you need to go, from east to west to south, north, south, east to west. You will know where you need to go. You won't be going around in circles all night because you don't know where the directions are. But there's a reason why I'm showing it to you to be viewed like this, where the Sandia Mountain is right here in the middle. Now what I'm going to do is go to another image, which is the one on the ceiling. So if you could take the camera to that image up there, and I'll get my little yardstick out. And then I'll be able to explain how this crazy thing works. There's a catch about this thing. To understand it, I need to be right directly below it. See where I'm standing? And it's right above me. Why? Now north is this red arrow. South is 13 on this end. East is over here. West is over there. And the Sandia Mountain is right located directly in the center, right there. The Sandia. How to use this besides as an indigenous compass? Well, it could help you in trade. And how do I mean that? When you go to the Three Rivers Petroglyphs, which is the Petroglyph National Monument here in Albuquerque, you can get on top of the volcanoes, and there's a stone thrown on the top of one of those volcanoes that marks the 35th latitude. You put this chart above your head, and then all you do is you see this alignment, this line that goes from there through the Sandias, through there. If you follow that alignment and you follow it that way, it'll take you directly to Chaco Canyon, and if you keep following it in a straight line, it'll take you to Mesa Verde at the Four Corners, and if you keep going from there, it'll take you to 108 latitude and 108 longitude, 38 latitude, but then it goes to 39 latitude, 109 longitude. And what's connected to Chaco Canyon and Mesa Verde by trade? Skinwalker Ranch.
That's where the pyramid peak comes in, over that way.
No, the Utah Basin. Don't throw them off.
Okay, sorry.
Well, I'm in Utah, Colleen. You're in Colorado. Don't listen to the cameraman. I'm the one giving the the camera woman over there. But anyway, besides you getting thrown a curve here, this alignment that goes to Chaco Mesa Verde, as you follow it, it'll take you directly to the Utah Basin, where they traded directly with the people at Mesa Verde, Chaco, and all the way to here. And if you go back to the Sandias this way, and you go on this 35th line, which is the middle line, exactly that way, where does this line take you to? You follow that line directly that way, it takes you to Mount Taylor and a place that I call the Santa Rita Pueblo, which I don't know if they discovered it yet, and to the Acoma Pueblo. So if you follow this line right down the middle, and you go directly that way in a straight line, it'll take you directly to Mount Taylor and to Acoma. How do I know that? You go the opposite direction, where does it take you to? It takes you to the Pecos, it takes you to Santa Rosa, going east, New Mexico, and then it takes you to Ute Lake, which is at the New Mexico-Texas border, where there used to be rivers, but they used to utilize Ute Lake for trade down the rivers. And Santa Rosa, that was set up for the Pecos River for trade, because you could send things down the Pecos River. But from the Sandias, you follow directly that way, it'll take you to Pecos Pueblo. And why do I say that? The Sandia Mountain that we're looking at right here again, if you look directly at this red arrow that's pointing to 33, I believe, is the latitude on this thing, west. If you go from the Sandia, or if you go to the Sandia Mountains, and we're going to do a presentation on it a little later, at the southern end of the Sandia Mountains is a woman's face that has a T on top of her head like a headdress. And it's not a little tiny face either. The woman's face is as big as the Statue of Liberty in New York City. Nobody's ever seen it. Nobody's ever paid attention to it. Nobody's ever noticed it. My belief is that T lady, as I nicknamed her because there's a T on top of her head, her face is pointed in the direction from the Sandias that way. And I kept looking at it. Why is it pointing that way? Then I went to my chart. And what is going that way? This line right here to the Sandias, to right where this red arrow is. And what happens when you follow that alignment that way to here, from the Sandias, you follow that straight line, it'll take you to the Gila cliff dwellings. And all you got to do is follow a straight line. And how do you follow a straight line? By horizon to horizon. You follow the place where you just came from, and you mark it to the place you're going to, and to the place where you're at. So you have a direct alignment that's going in a straight line, no matter if it's a mountain, a mesa, a hill, a rock, a tree, whatever. But use it as an alignment so you can use it as a straight line. And when you follow that straight line down these alignments, and you don't deviate, it'll take you directly to the Gila cliff dwelling. All of these are set for other locations to go to, but I just pointed out the most obvious ones that are on here that you can find here, like Mount Taylor and Acoma and Gila cliff dwellings, Chaco and Mesa Verde and places like that, Pecos, because those are the bigger pueblos that people are familiar with. But there are smaller pueblos that all these other numbers are associated with that aren't as famous as Chaco and all of that. And as a matter of fact, there's a few of them that haven't been located yet even, that are on the east side. But for some odd reason, all the native communities disappeared on the east side of New Mexico from Albuquerque. There's really no native communities going east. If there is, somebody let me know if there's a res or something I missed or something. We got native people going north of us, we got native people going west of us, because this thing points to Zuni, New Mexico on the 35th latitude, which is the end of the trade zone for us in our area, to the Zuni Pueblo. And then there's the people that are south of us that are going down this way that have Pueblos, Isleta, and all of that going that way. But the eastern Pueblos all but disappeared. I mean, they're there, but I think they got lost in time and history, and I don't think people have located them yet. There's a few of them, like, I think there's the Abo ruin, which is down below us, is located on here, and a few of the smaller ones. But there is a whole bunch of these trade locations that haven't been located yet that were just as important as these ones over here. And this is probably the end of the part of my little discussion about how this can be used to locate your next trade partner. And while you're out in the middle of the desert, it can also help you locate which way is north and south so you don't get lost and you don't end up walking around in circles trying to find Chaco. And if you took the time and you find all these other locations, you could find locations to every place. Like one goes to the Comanche National Grasslands, one goes to the Kiowa National Grasslands. They go to various locations that I haven't written on here, but that's a whole nother subject. Like I said, I just wanted to get the major ones in there so you get the idea. So I hope I discussed that right on how they use the Zia template for not only trade, but also used it as an indigenous compass so that you wouldn't get lost when trying to go out and do trade. And when you do know which way is north and south, it sets you in the right alignment to find the people that you want to trade with. Or if the other way around, if they want to trade with you, then go the other way. But either way, they both use this to find each other. And this was the template for the entire trade zone for the Sandia area. And I'm going to say one last thing before I cut out. My dream and hope right here is that you see that Sandia that's right in the middle over here? Down the road in the future, I would like for the Sandia Mountains to become the whole global central hub for the entire western side of this globe. In other words, all trade will be directed to us. Okay, that's enough of the template. And I hope I said that without confusing anyone.